And another thing, let me make this very, very clear. Riding off the last video that I made pertaining to me having a conversation with this lady and we were talking about God, what I want to clear up is by no means am I glorifying drugs or anything like that. Um, I'm just putting the emphasis on people pay too much attention to the fact of the act and nobody really understand, the whole dynamic when it comes down to indulging in drugs. And I just wanted to make that clear. And if you haven't seen my last video, I said how it's against my spirituality to sell drugs. Um so that's basically the only part I can be on as far as when it comes to drugs is the using part. And again, I'm not glorifying it, but unfortunately it's just a big part of my life. And again, everybody look at people doing drugs. Nobody stops and asks the person history behind drugs. Because if you take me, for example, I was born into drugs. I didn't have a choice. It was around me as a child. It was sold around me as a child to the point I could remember sitting on the edge of the bed, um, saying to myself, I'll be glad when I can go to the door and sell it to them or give it to them or whatever, whatever. But again, I was a child. And unfortunately, it's something that was put in me as a child, and it probably be a battle I will face all my life. And one thing I will say is drugs is a gene. So if you have children, it's very important to talk to them about that because, again, it's a gene. So if have family members that indulge in drugs and, stuff like that, for example, my father, he wasn't too much of a smoker. He was a drinker. My mom was a smoker. So it's like me and my sister inherited the smoking part from my mom, and my brothers inherited like the drinking part from my father. I'm not a big drinker. My sister wasn't a big drinker. You get it? So I'm just trying to point out it's a gene. And, you know, it's best to tell your children that, they could, if this is the case in your family dynamic, that it's possible they could have that gene, and to just stay away from substances and drugs and stuff like that because of that fact. Not only it's not good for you, it's nothing to be recommended or glorified. And me personally, I I went through a time in my life where unfortunately both of my feet were broke. So I did like a year on one foot or crutch, believe it. Yes, yes, I know it sounds far fetched. A year on one foot, and I had to do them separate because my children were young. And I did 9 months on the other foot. So I say that to say, with all of that going on, I became addicted to the medication. And, you know, if I'm honestly speaking, other than my liking for pills, I winds up getting addicted on them pills. And it was just like a whole domino effect and blah, 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 blah. Which made me more conscious today as far as when it comes to pills. Like, they prescribe me pills to, like, just help me calm myself down and stabilize my mind, just lock in. And I don't really take take pills. Basically, it's on all my records. I don't like medication and stuff like that. But and due to the fact of my history, the gene, you know. And yeah, it's just very important to teach your children about that part of just life. And I just wanted to say that, to come up here and make the second video to convey that message that no way I would glorify drugs. I wouldn't wish that on anyone, Anybody could get fucked up behind drugs. Nobody's safe. And yeah, and I can give y'all another scenario or whatever you want to call it. My brother, I actually have a brother named Michael Jackson, and he's nothing like Michael Jackson. Trust me. But he he's a known drug dealer. Um he actually made the papers. He's a known drug dealer and way upstate or whatever, wherever he at or whatever. And he was selling these drugs in this very expensive town that he lived in or whatever. And he sold these drugs for quite a lot of years. I do mean a lot of years, which enabled him to accumulate a lot of money. And my brother, this particular brother, like me and him, we just bump heads. We bump heads for so many reasons. Like, if you look at my other videos, you'll see why we bump heads, because I actually speak on it. I'm not going to get all into that right now, but we bump heads. And yeah, he's you know I can't even say like retired, because the police shut his shit down. And what's even more fucked up, see the whole triangle with this shit. Like, okay, I do drugs, or have done drugs, or whatever you want to call it, have done drugs. He sell drugs. And the point I'm trying to make is, we both involved in the drug, but we have different positions in the drug. I couldn't take his position in the drug if I wanted to. And according to him, he don't do drugs. So whatever. That's neither here or there. But the point I'm trying to make is, what happened by him with his hands in drugs was the cause of his hands in drugs. I'm about to tell y'all what I feel happened. Due to the fact that he sat up there and sold these drugs for all these years, untouched. I mean, he made the vault, like, money did the vault. If you know, you know. And everything is squeaky clean. This is a person that, when my mom passed, she had a 3-bedroom apartment. He didn't want it. He don't want nothing from the government. Fuck bitches on welfare and project. And this is his view on humanity and society. This is his attitude. Uh yeah. He don't want Medicaid. He don't want nothing from the government. Boom. Bad. Whatever. Cause okay. of his profession that he had going on. However, right when I guess he thought shit was squeaky, 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 guess what happened, y'all? Because keep in mind, we all loved my sister on both sides of my family. And nobody really know, like, the shit that really went on, like, in this family. It was very hard and very difficult. But what I will say, my sister was the star. She still is the star. She'll always be the star of the family. And she was just so special to everybody. And I say that to say he adored my sister, but he hated me for whatever reason. When I got molested by my family member, the whole family knew of it. This boy tormented me. Um, Again, this is another thing I tell people. Nobody's gonna save you. You gotta save your fucking self, because nobody's gonna save you. And like, just tormented me. I was tormented, y'all. I was a very abused child. But it's all good. We not gonna get into that. But they loved my sister, like, I loved her the same way. And when he was up there selling all his drugs or whatever, my mother and my sister was going through struggling with drugs or whatever. And when he thought like everything was just like squeaky clean and shit, my mother died. And I was 5 months pregnant when my mother died. Guess what else? 2 months later, my sister died. Now I'm 7 months pregnant. And it's like, I don't care what nobody say. I told y'all I lived my life spiritual into God since I was a child, because that's all I had. I had I had people around me, but that was just like basically it. I was a well taken care of child, but how well taken care of are you if you abused? But okay, my mom died, my sister died. All is 2 months apart, whatever, whatever. And the point I'm trying to make is I blame that on him. Had he not been up there destroying them people's lives for all those years, maybe that wouldn't have happened to him. Life don't work like that. With him getting a clean run 15 years, and I'm talking about, I have another brother that all my brothers came from up there, and one played basketball with the PAL, Rosie O'Donnell and them, sitting at the bar, and all of them, this is the area they living in. So what you selling for 20, he's selling for 80, and coming to my apartment with doctors and all kind of shit, and this and that and that and that. One day I thought I was gonna have to get him fucked up, because he came with one chick, fly ass lady, and she just wanted to go back home. And that nigga wound up choking me up, and like it was like a big thing. Like, let the lady go home. But okay. He up here in this expensive ass neighborhood. I ain't gonna blow it, but that's what they raised or whatever. He was doing his little one twos or whatever. But like, nigga, life don't work like that. You know how many kids suffered for you to sit up here and talk the shit you talk? How many Thanksgiving, Christmases, um, vacations, Just how many fucking lives you ruined, and now you want to sit back and think you got your mother, you got your sister. It don't work like that, baby. So that's how I feel towards that type of shit. However, when it come to drugs, I will always be on the using end. I could never be on the selling end of that. And God will continue to help me and work on me. Whatever I'm doing, God will work on me. I have one job, and that's to make sure anything that I'm doing that is perceived as negative or I know it's negative, make sure it does not reach the ears, eyes, hands of others. So I'm not going to get all deep because I got a little deeper than I wanted to on this video. But again, if you have God, I promise you, people, you have everything: a friend, a lover, a therapist, a counselor, a finance. Like, you are literally sitting on top of the world. Just make sure what you do does not affect others in a negative light. Serving God and worshiping and loving God is to love his people. He didn't say you have to walk a straight arrow. Live your life. Because you already living under circumstances that he didn't design. He didn't design drugs. He didn't design half of this, you know? But don't let that change you from doing what you know is right. Just always ask yourself, what would God do? And whatever you do, if it's not positive, make sure it does not affect others. And just continue to pray. Pray on it. Pray on it. This, that. Pray on it. I pray for a better relationship with my brother. But I can't let his negative ways or nobody negative ways affect me and my relationship with God. And, I know it's hard. Trust me, take it from me. I know it's hard. But try. Trust me, he give you effort for even trying. Try to do the right thing. Don't hurt others.